important thing which I hope you basically were discussing is the fact that we have large health disparities across the world, if we think about the global north, global south discussion, but also at a much more local scale within the Netherlands or even within municipalities, as we have in Utrecht, where we have between the neighborhood with the lowest healthy life expectancy and the highest, about 15 years of difference. And so the real question that we have to answer today as well is, what is the justification for having that 15-year difference, and how can we actually minimize that? And that's where the word just comes in. So we're not talking only about transformations, making change, but what we are talking about is how do we make that change so that actually everybody benefits, or even better, people that now are living in disparities benefit more from these transformations than others, so that we actually close the gap between these different health experiences. And again, this is about transdisciplinary work. This is about actually crossing sectors. And we were very, very pleased that we actually could work with Mascha Bossuyt, who's sitting here, an artist working in Renen, where we were basically asking the question, okay, if we talk about these health disparities, how can we actually visualize that? How can we actually make clear to people that we have these differences in the Netherlands, which are not just? And basically, Mascha developed a piece of art that is interactive, so we will write it out of this room later on and you can play with it yourself. But what this symbolizes, if we actually look here, that the zip code that you are born in the Netherlands largely determines basically your healthy life expectancy. And so where you're born is basically a very not random event, but you don't have control over that. And so if we actually look at the art piece, then the way that your life course is set out basically might mean basically that, and this happens basically always with interventions. They don't always work, so we'll give it another try. So if you're born in a zip code where you have basically good education, access to many facilities, your life expectancy, health life expectancy might be 70 years old. But at the same time, if you're born in another place where we don't have the same support systems, the health life expectancy might be in the Netherlands around 50 years old, 55 years old. And so what we are talking about when we do interventions is trying to see basically, can we actually change that course? And changing that course is not always easy. There's no single point solution to that, but if we actually do that intervention, we can see what that actually impacts towards health. If we look currently at intervention programs, they might be effective by actually give us perhaps a slight increase in healthy life expectancy. The challenge that we would put out today to you is to think about transformative change. So how can we actually make a big leap between basically these life courses that we have and see basically if we dramatically can change these courses that we have in life. And so how can we actually get to just transformations that actually helps everyone? So this art piece symbolizes basically that challenge that we have and what we actually can try to do with each other. So interact with the art piece, but more importantly, interact with each other when you're there to talk about what would be that change, what would actually be that transformative change that actually make that life course change dramatically.